Hello, I'm streaming. Um, we'll wait a few minutes. People getting emails and joining us. So, if you're a Boldport Club member, you can go to the Slack and go to Variety Show channel, and that's where we're monitoring the chat. Otherwise, we're not seeing anything.
Yeah, no YouTube.
No,
No YouTube
not for
chat.
now. No. Actually, with streaming, I haven't seen other people use.
Yeah, it's on the.
I know it's
yeah.
there, but I haven't seen other people use it. I don't know.
Okay.
People use different things. I think Marika uses the Twitch
Yeah.
chat thing. I don't know. I didn't quite look into it. Anyway, can somebody give us feedback whether this? Oh. So we need feedback on the sound because we got this this nice thing that Ben brought. Don't really want to start before we know that we
Somebody's
can hear.
typing. I can hear fine.
Okay. So we got feedback now.
Hey. Right.
Okay. So much better than last time. Good. So that's resolved. We're still getting through some issues, not issues, but improvements. I ordered a new light because the lighting is a bit crap here.
Yeah, you got a head like that.
Huh?
No, it's just because the lighting's really extreme.
Oh yeah. See my
It's not good for fringes.
no, yeah, you can see my bays. Yeah, well, anyway, it is what it is. So hard to hear, Ben. Ben.
Oh, sorry. I've got a very low, mumbly voice.
And it's further, the thing is further away
Yeah.
from him.
I'll try and speak clearer.
So this is Ben.
Hello.
I don't think, no, people haven't seen you. I mean,
I've
haven't
been to
seen
the
much of me
meetup.
either.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about a few things. The HackSpace magazine that we're on, and mostly Ben's project that we're packaging up for shipping very soon.
Next
talk
week?
next
Roughly?
week. Yeah,
Roughly?
next week. So we'll talk about why it's next week and not middle of the month as usual. I'm sure people can guess, and talk about sort of the origins of the project and not so much detail about the circuitry. We'll get to that some other time. All right, so yeah, so I'm getting used to this this whole setup. We have 3 cameras. There's one showing us sort of context. One here, sort of what do I call it? Table, sort of desktop, and another microscope. So we'll see how that works. So let's do yeah, let's do this. Try this. Right. So some of you, I'm sure a lot of you, know that the Raspberry Pi Foundation, I believe, released this new magazine called HackSpace, and I am or Boldport slash it's a mix as it is in real life, featured as Maker of the Month, which I believe is going to be in every issue. It's going to be a different somebody else, and it's a really kind of very polished, hefty magazine. Lots of stuff in there. We received it on Monday. I haven't had much of a chance to look at anything other than the pages I'm on, as you do. There's a lot of Becky Stern here, which is nice.
It's got a bit of electronics, a bit of welding. I like the welding bit. And
oh yeah, the welding. It even says Ben. Doesn't it say Ben?
no, what? Someone called Ben was doing.
Yeah,
it.
Ben is the editor.
Oh right.
So I think you showed me a picture, right, of the thing, and it said Ben. Did it say Ben? Where is it now? We have to find it.
Won't find it. Oh, it's near the front.
Is it in the front?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah. Somebody.
Are we publishing the entire magazine?
Yeah.
Oh, it's free
It's
anyway.
free,
You can
yeah.
download it on the PDF.
Exactly. I think it's pretty much towards the end, but now we're committed.
It's very broad.
Oh, there it is. Ben, you see?
Oh yeah, this is my name. Yeah.
Ben. You were so looking at the technique that
Yeah, I
you
was too busy
didn't
looking
bother
at
to
the
do.
blobs of.
Yeah.
metal.
So Ben Everard
Yeah.
is the editor. Here he is, and
Ah.
he contacted me. He's a Boldport Club member, and contacted me a couple of months ago, and we had a little interview, and he wrote a wonderfully written piece about Boldport Club and me. So we have all the Monarch, the Tap, the Cuddle, and the Peas. Yeah, Peas board. All kind of in here. So that's nice. So it's available as a PDF. First issue. Having Raspberry Pi behind it, you know that it's going to be around for a while, I'm sure. And
They sent a lot of issues. How many was it? I can't
Yeah.
remember.
I think they said at the beginning they had, like, when it just came out, the day that they came out with this,
5,000.
yeah, 6,000 in the first few hours, and they shipped it all for free to people, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about, we ship stuff and you think about it's tons of,
It's very expensive.
but
Quite a feat.
yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty brave, courageous, or can't find the right word, to launch a physical magazine these days, isn't it? Yeah. So, all right. So you just search for HackSpace. hsmag.cc, and the PDF is there. Go learn something, I guess. All right. So put this aside. Right, so the next Boldport Club project is the Ananas, which means pineapple.
Yeah.
And you discovered that kind of all languages it's
Well,
ananas except
Ananas
English.
is the genus, but generally most cultures it's called ananas. Most languages. But only in English is it called pineapple.
Yeah, you kind of imagine that they go like, "Ooh, what is this? It looks like a pine.
Yeah.
Maybe it tastes like an apple." maybe, and then just call it
It's
pineapple.
some kind of strange pineapple. Yeah. But yeah.
All right. Well, pineapple, but we call it ananas. Just make it interesting.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think so. I think it's more interesting.
I'm also into plants. I like
Right.
knowing the genus and the species.
And you like yellow.
I like yellow. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of all played together. So this is Ben's. Ben, you've been.
Light's quite bright.
Yeah, you don't see that.
We've got a really bright overhead light here, so.
Yeah. So Ben, it's probably been 3 months or so that you've been with Boldport or something like that?
Yeah, I've been learning how to use PCB mode.
Yeah.
It's very interesting method of making PCBs.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a very different angle from a typical CAD software.
Yeah, it's just lots of kind of tricks and stuff. Luckily,
it's kind of like PCB compiling. Then yeah.
But also with Inkscape and all that. But
yeah, so
it's easy for us to just go. You ask, and then I tell, oh, you do this trick and stuff. But really, should document that stuff.
That's going to happen, definitely. Yeah.
Or get the community involved and improve the thing, because I don't have time for that. Well, I wish I did. I think there's a lot to do with it, but it's working for me, and so, and there's projects to be delivered and designed.
Yeah.
So you started out, and I think you had a few projects in mind, and
yeah, it's interesting how many projects you can start with, and it's just like, this sounds like a great idea, and you're like, is this going to work?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, won't fit.
Yeah. And then there's the constraints of the club, the bill of material costs, and then is it going to be too bulky? So you sometimes can have a larger PCB, but the component needs to be really cheap. Or you have components that are expensive, but the PCB has to be small.
You can totally blow the budget on a massive PCB.
Yeah.
Which is what I did, actually, wasn't it? I made it too big to begin with.
Well, in this particular case, we have two boards, right? So it's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, it's not the greatest. This is what it's made of, anyway, underneath.
Yeah. So these are two boards, and I think you. Well, let's start with what was the. Do you remember what was?
Well, I kind of went down the predictable path of trying to make a Christmas thing, and we were talking about it, and perhaps I wanted to make I guess the idea was to make it more inclusive and less about an annual holiday.
Yeah, so I think people asked me, and it came up in the last meetup last week about seasonal stuff, because it's really tempting to say, well, Valentine's Day is coming up, and
we're going to make a pink circuit board.
Yeah, or something with a heart and that, or Christmas. Oh, we'll make some tree ornament or whatever. So, but I decided fairly early on, and I've been getting this over time, that I'm not going to do any seasonal stuff, and a few reasons. Firstly, if I make if we have a project that is seasonal, we ship out. We now have 460 members. We ship out 460. We build 600 or 550 or whatever. Then we have stock, and nobody's going to buy it until next year. And as it is, we have lots of stock that would be good to shift, and so we don't need that kind of constraint on it, right?
Yeah, but then so what I did was I slyly made a design that could be a Christmas ornament.
Right. No, we don't say that. It's yeah.
So I was like,
don't tell anyone.
I was like, it's not a bauble. It's a pineapple.
It's a pineapple.
Well, actually, what was happening was I was kind of drawing a pine cone, and I sort of thought it looked a lot nicer as a pineapple.
Yeah.
At the same time, I was trying to work out how to make a 3-dimensional PCB.
Yeah.
It's possible, but you have to like think about the polarity of all the connections.
I think
All
the
strokes.
main thing is doing something 3D like this, but
Yeah.
having the boards identical.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah,
Which
yeah.
it's the same with the cordwood puzzles. The
Yeah.
boards are the same because if they needed to be different, then it would be quite expensive. That way, if they're the same,
Yeah,
you order
so
double the amount
I
and
could
it's
get
cheaper.
more surface area for
Yeah,
half the price. Well, not
not
half the
half,
price.
no, but
Three
cheaper.
quarters of the price.
Well, it depends. Yeah.
But it's really hard to conceptualize without trying it out in real life. So I had to build a lot of prototypes. This is only one of like probably 5 cardboard constructions. A member was telling me that apparently Osram, what was some lighting company, some similar company, make light bulbs like this, 3-dimensional light bulbs. I probably got the wrong company. Sorry. Yeah, so it's great. It's great. It's
a
fun.
mental exercise, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a design puzzle.
Yeah.
But it totally messes with your mind when you try and design things.
I think Ben took it. It was quite a challenging project as a first project. You had to learn PCB mode and
think in 3D, 2D.
Yeah, circuit board gymnastics.
Yeah.
But I want to get back to just quickly, so it's still in my head.
Yeah.
The seasonal stuff. Something's wrong
Okay.
with my nose. Right. So, firstly, stock, right? Stock. We don't want to get stuck with stock. Secondly, not everyone celebrates Christmas or any other holiday. I don't care much for Valentine's Day, for example, and or any other holiday for that matter. But we ship all over the world, and it just seems like a non-starter. Really. The other thing is everybody else is doing it. Every Christmas there'll be these kind of things, sort of like this oak tree or PCB this and lights up with LEDs, or so if everybody else is doing it, I'm kind of less interested normally. So no seasonal Boldport Club projects, at least. I mean, if a company came and said, "Do we want something seasonal as a giveaway or something?" I have no problem doing that. But as a club stuff, as a club project, doesn't make it much sense to me.
Mm.
All right, so yeah, we have. You've started out. This is not the first one, is it?
Yeah, because it's got no shape to it. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Once it had shape to it, I had to keep building it in real life over and over again to check it was working.
Right. And we had. So do you have any more?
Yeah.
What do we? How was the evolution of the of the circuitry of the project of the shape?
Well, after I decided this connection was pretty set in stone. By the way, it connects all the way around the entire piece. If you look really closely, every single, you can't get that in focus.
Yeah.
Every single connection. Come on.
I think you need to. Yeah, there. No.
No.
Move it a little bit.
Come on.
We did try, but
it's because it's too shiny.
It worked very well.
But see, you can see anyway, every single connection, every single joint in every corner is a connection.
Yeah.
Electrical connection.
Yeah.
So it gives quite a good even distribution of the power. So every single surface has has the whole circuit, can have a circuit on it completely.
So for this one, we've done 2 prototypes.
Yeah, mainly because it was my first go.
Yeah.
and there were things that just kept, yeah.
So normally I would do one prototype that is as close to finish. I mean, it would be something that I would consider being the production version.
Yeah.
And then I get it back, and then I think, well, this could have worked better, or I see things in the prototype that I go like, oh, this really worked well. I want to do more of that. Actually, there's an example. Did you get one of those monarchs?
Monarchs?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a prototype. So that it's a very good example of this kind of process. So this was the prototype, and you can see here this little track, this track that I didn't quite pay attention to when I was designing it. Came back, and you can see how brighter it is when there's copper underneath the solder mask. And so I said, well, this actually looks nice, and
You've got it.
yeah. And then in the production version, I've added this kind of trim on the edges of each red area. This focus is a bit annoying that it doesn't. But anyway, I think you can kind of see it, and then it also adds a bit of volume to the edges and creates a 3D effect. So that was not planned. In the prototype, it came back something nice. Sometimes things come back, and I go, well, it could really add a little bit more flair here and there, and make those changes. But functionally, the ideal is that there's no changes, because once you change something, likelihood you're going to break something else. So from we got the first prototype. The first thing that we noticed was that these gaps. So you have these gaps that this interlocks, and the gaps were too tight.
Yeah, we were going to have to say instructions where you've got to get a hammer and smash them together as well. Or
file it and stuff. I really want to avoid doing that. I mean, it's really last measure. So trouble is with manufacturing with physical things is that there are tolerances, and that tolerance is not that accurate. So or the tolerance is not enough to be kind of perfect, to get it perfect. So you kind of have to enlarge it and make sure that on average things are going to fit. And so we enlarged that gap.
Yeah.
But people are going to solder it in place, so the gap doesn't play a huge part.
Yeah.
But the last thing we wanted was for it not to fit and tell people to.
The worst thing is having to force them together.
Yeah. So and then we had a circuit change between the first and second.
Yeah.
And there were too many, or not too many. Actually, not that many, but there were enough changes that said, okay, let's just do another prototype
to make us feel nervous about doing 500.
Yeah. Well, 1,000, right?
1,000, yeah.
Because there's two in each, and we're building 500.
Yeah.
So the second prototype came out. There were very few changes. We changed minor things, right?
Here's prototypes.
Yeah.
They're white. It's cheaper.
Yeah. So because we're using Euro circuits mostly, there's the pooled service is what is the most common, and so we knew we were going to do yellow, but we
green boards with white solder masks.
Standard stuff that's cheapest.
Yeah.
If we done the yellow silk screen for the prototypes, there would have been £40 each or something of that nature. So we're building those now downstairs at the workshop. We We got about 100 built kits, and finishing up this week. And you want to talk about this thing?
Well, there's two things actually.
plumage?
What about the battery holder?
Oh yeah.
This is quite a cool thing. There's no mechanical battery holder. It's there's no shop bought
Yeah.
battery holder. It's literally designed into the PCB. So if you see at one end, it's got the thickness for a battery, and
Now it's focused.
and the other end, it's got the width for a battery there. So if you put them together, you can fit a battery in there. That. And then say, by simply just putting these little tabs on it, using little wires to make a gripper, you got a battery holder.
Yeah, we experimented. Yeah. Oh, now it's in focus. People can see
Light's
it.
too bright.
Oh, but
So
yeah,
much reflection.
but you can see it if you look at it straight on. You
Need
can
some
see
shadow over it.
But it works very well. We're supplying the piece of wire with the kit,
It's in the instructions.
and once you've soldered it right, it just works, and it's very cheap.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be able to get any holder anyway for this thing. I mean, it's pretty.
Yeah, in
it's
three
pretty-
dimensions.
yeah.
And also there's not much space.
Yeah.
The other great thing is if you didn't care about this, you could put two batteries in and they'd be running in parallel. So you get double the capacity. Another funny trick I found was if you get two thinner batteries,
Yeah.
because this circuit's very tolerant. So what's this, a CO32?
Yeah.
So
So
if you get two CO16s,
16s. Yeah.
you can get 6 volts and it flashes much faster.
Yeah.
But we can go into the circuit in the future. But anyway, in the meantime, it's...
So you want to show the bit that you're going to get with the kit, the card?
Oh yeah, here's the instructions. Well, it's not the full instructions, but it's because of its complication and the fact that we had to fit a lot of markings into a small space. The components are actually defined by the shape of the soldering pad. The soldering pad. What are they called? Pads. The shape of the footprints that they fit into. But what that means is you have to... it's useful to have this by you so you don't get it wrong.
Yeah, so each sort of function has a different shape.
Yeah, can you see that? It's like...
Oh yeah.
Whoop.
Yeah. So I mean, this is more kind of a guide while you're soldering to have a reference next to you.
Yeah, because you're guaranteed to get it wrong if you continually looking between a computer and it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is you have to assemble them like this, so the actual orientation of the parts changes. So it's good to have a guide.
And we have a plan for Ben to do a soldering session. It took you to build this the final piece with the final components. It took you about an hour.
Rushing
Because this was Monday morning. You arrived early. It was just kind of.
Want to know if I'm going to have to order another 1,000 boards? So yeah.
So I came in at about 10, was it? And Ben was like, "You're just here. I'm just about to put the battery in."
Yeah.
And it worked. So that was good news.
And then afterwards, if you're into a little bit of papercraft, you can build this lovely little plumage that goes on the top. It fits in the battery hole. And it makes it look like a pineapple.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been saying it looks like a grenade, but no, it's a pineapple. And that can be built with the extra bit of cardboard with the instructions.
Yep. So it's a very it's a complete complete kit.
There's all sorts of funny things you can do with it, like changing values. You could control it from a power supply. You do some sort of voltage controlled flashing speed thing if you wanted to.
Yeah, so the circuit itself is sensitive to the supply voltage, and of course the values of the components, but we'll get into that.
It'll run safely pretty high, like 10 volts or something, probably even more, but I haven't really checked the maths.
Yeah, I mean, so is there anything more about? All right. This is December's project, but we're shipping it next week.
Yeah.
Because we want members to get it before Christmas, or have a good chance at least. So because of all this extra shipping,
Christmas
post stuff.
Although we checked the dates, and Royal Mail has got very optimistic dates.
Yeah, as it is, they say 5 to 7 days to the rest of the world, and we know that people are getting it.
They don't know what
after. Yeah. So it's more of a kind of wishful thinking.
Depends who's having strikes or who's doing what.
I don't know. There's basically nothing you can do if you're not shipping tracked. So they say 5 to 7 days.
So we're getting it in early.
Yeah. So I hope that most people are going to get it.
Yeah.
So if
parts.
Yeah, parts.
It's a lot of parts.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 12 LEDs, 12 capacitors, 12 transistors,
24 resistors.
24 resistors, quite a few components here. And no battery. You'll have to get your battery as usual.
Poundland.
If you're in the UK, it's Poundland. You can get it. IKEA sells them, right?
The dollar store.
Yeah. What else was there? Oh yeah. So if you're a Boldport Club member and you want to get some extra things from the shop, like this T-shirt, for example, not this one. I'm keeping this one, but other ones, your size,
or kits.
This
gifts. One's still available.
Gifts. What
Beautiful.
do you call? Yeah, all of them except
Not
that
this
one.
No,
that one. And the Matrix isn't available.
We've got a few Monarchs.
Yeah, there's probably around.
They're going quick.
Right, this is turning to be like the shopping channel.
Yeah.
Just call now. Our operators are.
There's only 20 left. I've got going.
Yeah, no, don't. Let's not lie about it. There's about 100.
Our operators are waiting.
If you want some stuff from the shop, it's boldport.club/shop, but you have to be a member in order to get it. So please get your orders in before we're shipping, because otherwise you'll have to either wait until January or it's just order a lot. It helps really.
Do you want to see February's? Or no?
What?
Yeah,
I wanted to show the Weidler. So this is January's project. This is the prototype. The production version is in production as we speak, and we're working with a very talented writer and engineer.
Cider expert.
Sorry?
Cider expert.
Cider expert, yes, absolutely. To write a tutorial about how to... The way I phrased it was Bob Widler's Micro or UA or LM 723 and the datasheet adventures. So we're going to go through the datasheet and figure out a few circuits, some of which are going to be, we're going to supply the components, some not more advanced ones we're not going to supply the components, but it's going to be very interesting. So this is Bob Widler, a very talented analog designer who designed the chip that's going to go here, the LM723 in 1967, and it's still manufactured today. So imagine that 50 years.
What was the company? Is it Linear?
No,
National?
no, Fairchild. No, not Fairchild.
No, Fairchild's
is later.
the military one.
National
Yeah.
Semiconductor.
Sorry, I'm testing you live on air. Sorry.
It's making me look bad. No, I think it was National Semiconductor.
We're going to get told off.
This is just a comment. I need to prepare for the full feature.
The lecture.
So I seem to know everything about the man.
Yeah.
Obviously, a character, but I mean, if you search his name, you'll see there's a lot of stories about the guy. But undoubtedly a talented engineer, and somebody who who knew him. He has a quote. I found a quote in a book. It says, "He seemed to be more artist than engineer. He cherished creativity more than the concept of general intelligence." That spoke to me. Right. That's January's project. It's going to be planning a really nice packaging for this one, similar to what we had for the Peas. It's a sort of second in a series. This is Bob Peas, tribute to Bob Peas. You didn't know that?
No.
Okay, yeah. So it's a second in a series, we just today submitted the prototypes for
March.
No, February. Your project.
Oh right.
Ben's second project, which we named Whiteboard.
Yeah.
Today there's a Slack channel for that now. I just submitted it for a prototype, and I kind of know I'm in the research phase for what's going to happen in March.
Yeah.
And in April we have a good idea, and for May, most likely we're going to do the third edition, or not edition, but a third version of the cordwood thing, and it's going to be the third. So imagine,
got lots planned for next year.
Three. Okay, so I think that's it. We covered. How long have we been on? We've been on like for 3 hours. If I kind of time flies. No, not 3 hours.
20 minutes.
Really? No.
Yeah, there's 40 minutes.
40 minutes. That's a lot. Okay. Bye bye. Until next time.